India Live, India's voice to the world. I am Anil Thomas. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate the 10th edition of Vibrant Gujarat Global Summit in Gandhinagar with the theme Gateway to the Future. US Secretary of State Antony Blinken says Israel must make hard choices, work with Palestinian leaders. Hints regional countries are ready to invest in Gaza, but only with pathway to state. And China piles pressure on Taiwan ahead of pivotal election. Taiwan says Beijing is using unprecedented levels of cognitive warfare and weather balloons to rattle the nation. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate the 10th edition of Vibrant Gujarat Global Summit 2024 in Gandhinagar. The theme of the three-day summit is Gateway to the Future. Further, this 10th edition of the summit will celebrate 20 years of Vibrant Gujarat as the summit of success. There are 34 partner countries and 16 partner organizations for this year's summit. The Ministry of Development of Northeastern region will utilize the Vibrant Gujarat platform to showcase investment opportunities in the northeastern regions. The summit will focus on Industry 4.0, technology and innovation, sustainable manufacturing, green hydrogen, electric mobility and renewable energy, and along with that, transition towards sustainability. Therefore, there will be meetings with CEOs of top global corporations. Prime Minister will then travel to the Gift City in the evening, where he will interact with prominent business leaders in the Global FinTech Leadership Forum. India's assistance to Maldives encompasses a gamut of sectors such as defense, education, healthcare, along with infrastructure. India was among the first nations to establish diplomatic relations with Maldives after the Indian Ocean archipelago gained independence in 1965. India assisted Maldives during the 1988 attempted coup as well. Let's take a look at how India has played a perfect neighbor to Maldives. Abhishek Mahajan has more.
Amidst the India-Maldives diplomatic row, rift has widened in the political spectrum. Reports say several Maldivian opposition leaders have demanded newly elected Maldivian President Mohamed Muizzu's government to resign over comments about PM Modi. Sources say Maldives MP Ali Azim even asked MDP or Maldivian Democratic Party, the largest opposition party, to initiate a vote of no confidence. India has always stood by Maldives in its good and bad times, from pharmaceutical to defense to education to healthcare to infrastructure. New Delhi has adopted a flexible and accommodating approach in meeting Maldivian requirements. In 2018, PM Modi also attended the swearing-in ceremony of then-President Ibrahim Solih. India's humanitarian assistance to Maldives. India was the first to assist during the water crisis in Malé in December 2014. India had provided pollution dispersant to MNDF Coast Guard in 2016. In January 2020, India's swift dispatch of 30,000 doses of measles vaccine prevented an outbreak in the Maldives. India gave assistance of $250 million to Maldives for economic impact of COVID-19. Maldives became the first country to receive as gift 100,000 doses of India-manufactured vaccines with 96 hours of countrywide rollout. India is engaged in a host of infrastructure and development projects in Maldives, ranging from airports at Hanimadu and Gan Island, the Greater Malé Connectivity Project, development of Guli Falhu Port. The biggest project India is presently carrying out in Maldives is the Greater Malé Connectivity Project. Let's understand how India contributes to the tourism industry. In 2018, India was the fifth largest source of tourist arrivals in Maldives with around 6.1%, which is over 90,474 market share. In 2019, India reached the second spot with almost double the number of arrivals compared to 2018. In a pandemic-hit 2020, India was the largest source market for the Maldives with nearly 63,000 Indians visiting Maldives. In 2021 and 2022, India continued as the top market with over 2.91 lakh and 2.41 lakh Indian tourist arrivals. In 2023, India with 1,93,693 tourist arrivals is the second leading source market. In March 2022, India and Maldives agreed for an open skies arrangement to further improve connectivity. Trade between India and Maldives has grown by 4 times since India's PM Narendra Modi assumed office in 2014. In 2022, the total trade volume was USD 501.82 million compared to USD 173.50 million in 2014. The bilateral trade had crossed the USD 300 million mark for the first time in 2021, making India its third largest trade partner. Abhishek Mahajan reporting for DD India.
In a landmark development, India's Minister for Women and Child Development and Minority Affairs, Smriti Irani, accompanied by V. Muralidharan, the Indian Minister of State for External Affairs and Parliamentary Affairs, embarked on a historical visit to Medina, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. This unprecedented visit marks the first time a non-Muslim delegation has been welcomed to Medina, underscoring the exceptional nature of India-Saudi bilateral relations. Earlier this week, the delegation also took the opportunity to engage with Indian volunteers dedicated to serving Hajj pilgrims, extending appreciation for their selfless efforts during Hajj 2023. Consecration ceremony of the Ram temple in India's Ayodhya will take place on the 22nd of Jan. Chief Minister of the North Indian state of Uttar Pradesh, Yogi Adityanath, has declared January 22nd as a state holiday. He has also directed for closure of liquor shops on that day. The announcement came as the Chief Minister took stock of the preparations regarding the security and other arrangements for the ceremony. More than around 500 devotees from Nepal brought around 3,000 gifts, including silver shoes, gold and silver ornaments, along with fruits, sweets, clothes and other items. The majority of the gift consists of dry fruits and traditional sweets of the region. Lord Ram is considered son-in-law in Nepal. The gifts were handed over to the Sri Ram Janmabhoomi Tirth Kshetra Trust by the chief priest of Ram Janki Temple in Janakpur, the birthplace of Goddess Sita. The Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra is being undertaken across India with the aim to inform people about the government's welfare measures by ensuring that their benefits reach the targeted beneficiaries in a time-bound manner. The Yatra has reached India's Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. The Information Education Communication van reached Samba district, where the locals welcomed it with enthusiasm. Indian Minister Hardip Singh Puri highlighted the direct citizen benefits of Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra. The minister emphasized on inclusive development with a special focus on women-led development at a Bangalore press conference. He also underscored the substantial increase in gas connections and its beneficiaries, bringing a paradigm shift in their overall development. The 38th edition of the Ram Bahubalig Memorial Lecture Series, organized by the Ram Bahubalig Prabodhini today in the Thane city of Indian state of Maharashtra. This lecture series was addressed by India's Information and Broadcasting Minister Anup Singh Takur. The theme of this lecture series was Rashtra Puja, or Nation's Prayer, through a prayer ceremony of Lord Ram. The Indian minister said that the wait of Indians is now ending, and soon a grand temple of Lord Ram being built in Uttar Pradesh's Ayodhya. Ram Puja lights the lamp of our soul. In this lecture series, people get to hear the thoughts of intellectuals. The Indian minister exuded confidence in the belief that in 2047, India will fulfill its resolve of becoming a developed nation. Let's take a look at some other stories making news today. Moderate to heavy spells of rain lashed Mumbai and other areas of Maharashtra, putting the central Indian state on an alert. According to the Indian Meteorology Department, the rainfall is caused due to a low pressure that has developed in the Arabian Sea. National High Speed Rail Corporation Limited has prepared models of Sabarmati HSR Terminal, India's first undersea rail tunnel boring machine, scale model of the MAHSR bullet train, scale model of Surat HSR station, and MAHSR track system to be displayed at the Vibrant Gujarat Summit 2024. Music maestro Ustad Rashid Khan passed away on Tuesday. He was undergoing treatment for cancer at a hospital in Kolkata. He was 55 years old. He was laid to rest with state honors in Kolkata. Rashid Khan was the nephew of Ustad Ghulam Mustafa Khan. Indian Air Force shared videos of preparations for the 2024 beating retreat ceremony, which will take place in New Delhi's Raisina Hills and Vijay Chowk. The ceremony is organized by the Ministry of Defence and witnessed the participation of Indian Army, Navy and Air Force. Ahead of Republic Day, India's Chief of Army Staff, General Manoj Pandey, visited the NCC Republic Day camp in the national capital. He also addressed NCC cadets during his visit. Let's take a look at this report by Girish Nishana. On Tuesday, the Chief of Army Staff, General Manoj Pandey, reviewed an impressive guard of honor by smartly turned out cadets drawn from all three wings of NCC, that's Army, Navy and Air Force. The Chief of Army Staff expressed his delight in the fact that many former NCC cadets hold high positions in the government and armed forces. He motivated cadets to take a leadership role in various professions in addition to armed forces.
The armed forces are not the only domain where you can serve the nation. No matter what the field you choose, I am of the firm opinion that each one of you holds the potential to take on leadership roles in the years ahead, courtesy your NCC background.
Army Chief applauded the cadets for their impeccable turnout, impressive guard of honor and a captivating cultural program. The event also witnessed a band display by the NCC cadets in Scindia School. NCC Republic Day camp was inaugurated by Vice President, after which all three chiefs of the Indian Armed Forces have visited the camp so far. With Bureau Inputs, Girish Nishana for DD India. Still to come on this edition of DD India Live. Peru declares emergency on northern border with Ecuador after an attack on a TV station by gangs termed as terrorists by the president. Scientists find about 250,000 invisible nanoplastic particles in a liter of bottled water. And Middlesbrough shocked Chelsea in the League Cup semi-final. Chelsea get knocked out.
Wherever news breaks, whatever it takes.
Connecting corners, cutting across continents.
Stories that matter from across the globe.
Accurate, authentic journalism that serves you right. From politics to glamour, from sports to world affairs, with a fusion of aesthetics and substance. Introducing news in a new avatar. Experience the world through a new lens. Stay tuned to DD India for an exciting journey beyond borders.
You're watching DD India Live. I am Anil Thomas. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken told the leaders of Israel that he saw opportunities for them to build closer ties with their Arab neighbors after the Gaza crisis ends. He said that there was still a chance of Israel winning acceptance from its Arab neighbors if it creates a path to a viable Palestinian state. Blinken called on the President and Prime Minister and also held talks with his Israeli counterpart.
U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken called on Israel's President Isaac Herzog in Tel Aviv on Tuesday in a bid to prevent the Israel-Hamas conflict from spreading further. President Herzog thanked the U.S. for its support to Israel.
As always, it's such a pleasure to have you in Israel. Thank you. This is your fourth trip already in this Gaza war, and we are very grateful to you for your support and for your steadfast commitment to Israel's safety and to making sure that Israel wins this war, because it's a war that affects international values and the values of the free world.
On his fourth trip to the region since October, in a so far largely fruitless quest to tamp down the violence, Blinken said that he would share what he had heard in 2 days of talks with Jordan, Qatar, the United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia.
As always, we greatly value the President's leadership in these incredibly challenging times for Israel, for countries in the region, and especially for people who continue to suffer. I've just come from a number of countries in the region, Turkey, Greece, Jordan, Qatar, United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, and I want to be able to share some of what I heard from those leaders with the President as well as with the Prime Minister and the Cabinet later today.
Blinken also called on Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Blinken also met his Israeli counterpart, Israel Katz. He hinted at opportunities for Israel's regional integration once the challenging moment in Gaza conflict is overcome. On Monday, Blinken had met Abu Dhabi's ruler, Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, and Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. This is Blinken's fourth trip to West Asia since October. He also visited Jordan and Qatar on Sunday. Bureau Report, DD India.
Well, as West Asia conflict rages on, Israel has claimed the death of a Hezbollah aerial unit commander in an airstrike. As per Israeli army, the Hezbollah commander Ali Hussein Barji has led an attack on an army headquarters based in northern Israel previously. Barji is also involved in dozens of drone attacks on Israel in the 17 years of deadliest hostilities between Israel and Hezbollah.
In the north, we killed the southern Lebanon commander of Hezbollah aerial unit, Ali Hussein Barji, also known as Abu Mehdi. He was killed in the airstrike by the Air Force. Ali has led dozens of drone attacks on Israel.
Though Hezbollah has refuted the claims and said that the commander was never subjected to any assassination attempt. German Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock has called for 24 hours opening of Egypt's Rafah border for better access to aid. Speaking to media, Baerbock said that 3,000 fully loaded lorries with aid supplies intended for 1.9 million people in Gaza were stuck and unable to enter the Palestinian enclave. The border crossing is currently only open during daylight hours. Israel requires its own inspection of goods before delivery. Following this, lorries are often stuck at the Rafah border for days due to restrictions.
At the same time, we need much better access for the aid organizations. The trucks that are piling up here now, 3,000 fully loaded trucks that are piling up here in Al Arish to supply 1.9 million people a few kilometers away in Gaza. These trucks can no longer wait for days at this bottleneck here in Rafah. We need a border crossing that can function here around the clock. We'll do everything in our power to achieve this. But above all, we need more access points from Israel.
With the ongoing Israel-Hamas crisis, a suspicious activity in Red Sea was reported from the west of Yemen's Hodeidah. According to the United Kingdom Maritime Trade Organization, the incident took place approximately 50 nautical miles or 93 kilometers west of Hodeidah, which the authorities are still investigating. Israel has been combating Houthis' attack in the Red Sea region after it launched its ground operations against Hamas. Attacks by Houthi have been extraordinarily disruptive to international shipping, causing some companies to suspend transits through the Red Sea and instead take the much longer, costlier journey around Africa. Updates now on the Russia-Ukraine war. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said there were clear signs of a slowdown in Russia's defense industry on Tuesday. Zelensky called for further action to eliminate loopholes in sanctions imposed on Moscow. Meanwhile, Russian officials have said that the production of military equipment have been stepped up. Earlier, the head of the Russian state-owned defense conglomerate Rostec, Sergei Chemeshov, said that production of many fundamental items of equipment had risen significantly over the last 2 years. He added production of small arms and artillery ammunition had increased, including production of light armored vehicles. With just 3 days until its globally significant presidential election, Taiwan has once again been hit by what experts say are acts of interference by the Chinese government. Taiwan's foreign minister on Tuesday said China was engaged in unprecedented levels of interference. He added that in addition to political and military pressure, it is also using economic means, cognitive warfare, disinformation, threats from weather balloons and incentives. Managing Director of International Policy Advisory Group, Stephen Tan, spoke about key issues to watch, reactions from China and the US, as well as the future of Taiwan, depending on which candidate wins the highly watched election. Taiwan voters will go to poll on Jan 13 to elect a new president. Shifting focus, a group of armed men stormed into a public television station in Ecuador during a live broadcast on Tuesday and threatened the staff. The attack on TC television network there in Ecuador's largest city of Guayaquil was captured by the station's own broadcast before the live feed was cut about 15 minutes into the raid. Commander General of the Ecuadorian National Police said that the attack will be investigated as acts of terrorism. 13 suspects have been arrested and handed over to the authorities. The commander also said those in custody could be linked to an organized crime group called Los Ticrons. The incident followed the kidnappings of at least 7 police officers and a series of explosions a day after President Daniel Noboa declared a state of emergency. Peru's government on Tuesday declared an emergency along with the northern border with Ecuador due to a surge in violence caused by criminal gangs in the neighboring country. Prime Minister Alberto Otaralo announced that the emergency declaration would deploy an unspecified number of army troops to support police forces.
We
will declare an emergency all the northern border because in November we declared a state of emergency that's already in force and it's applied on Tumbes and Piura. But we will declare the emergency in other border regions which are Amazons, Cajamarca and Loreto.
Consumer Electronics Show 2024 is in full swing in Las Vegas, where tech enthusiasts from around the world have a lot to discover. Artificial intelligence is everywhere at CES this year, especially in the form of ChatGPT and similar generative AI chatbots. 4-day CES 2024 began on Tuesday. A new study has found that bottled water may contain up to 10 times more plastic than previously believed. Researchers have found that on an average, a litter contains some 240,000 detectable plastic fragments, 10 to 100 times greater than previous estimates, which were based mainly on large sizes. The study was published in the journal Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. A majority of landfills across Hon Kim district in Hanoi has been given a second life. The district authority and residents have recently joined forces to turn unlicensed dumping sites along the Red River into public grounds. These renovations are gaining popularity in the city, effectively providing people with more green spaces. Netflix has released the first full-length trailer for the new sci-fi drama series 3 Body Problems from Game of Thrones producers David Benioff and D.B. Weiss. The series starts in the late 60s and it goes till the end of time and the end of the universe, literally. Netflix provided a headset at its booth, giving consumers an immersive experience connected to the series. Batter Ailsa Haley hammered a 38-ball half-century to help Australia to a 2-1 series win against India in the 3-match T20 series. Haley's initial assault put Australia well ahead, while fellow opener Beth Mooney hit her first 50 of the tour to finish the job. Australia chased 148 with 7 wickets and 8 deliveries to spare. India batting first, scored 147 for 6, and it was the highest first innings total of the series. Shefali Verma's 26 of 17 deliveries at the top and Richa Ghosh's 34 of 28 at the death provided the batting boost. However, figures of 2 for 12 from Annabelle Sunderland and 2 for 24 from Georgia Wareham in their quotas of 4 overs apiece proved to be highly influential in the end. Earlier, Australia had won the ODI series after losing the one-off test. Chelsea, meanwhile, suffered a surprise 1-0 loss to second-tier Middlesbrough in the first leg of their League Cup semi-final. Hayden Hackney's goal gave Mauricio Pochettino's side plenty to do in the return leg. The 21-year-old Hackney's silky finish from an Isaiah Jones pass stunned the visitors in the 37th minute. Chelsea only had themselves to blame, though, as they dominated possession but squandered a host of chances near the goal mouth, with the biggest culprit being Cole Palmer, who failed to hit the target twice in the opening half with an open, wide goal. That's all for this edition of DD India Live, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. You can connect with us on Facebook, X and Instagram. You can also visit our website ddindia.co.in. We're going to be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Anup Thomas. From all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India Live.